So my name is Bob Edson. I'm currently the owner and sole proprietor of E4 Consulting, which started in January of this year after 41 years working basically for two global companies with different risk models. The first being Bayer, the aspirin company, and Amgen, the biotech company.
My name is Dennis Hugh. I am the Director for Environmental Health and Safety and System Safety Engineering for Ball Aerospace. I got here, I have an interesting path. I got here via the consulting, chemical and oil and gas industries. I've got a lot of experience working for clients, Fortune 500 clients, when I worked as an environmental consultant, and then spent a good amount of time 15 plus years in the chemical and oil and gas industries supporting private industry in the manufacturing sector there. I have an environmental engineering degree from Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. That undergraduate degree also focuses on public policy, so it has a lot, that curriculum included a lot of economics classes and legal classes as well, so that was very interesting for me at the time. I also have an MBA from New York University in New York City, and I'm working on a sustainability master's at Harvard University.
So the less traditional way really wasn't the type of person who had set out on a mission to become a safety professional. But 17 years in a chemical plant and witnessing what safety is and what people thought safety was, and then finally surviving a chemical plant explosion of a significant magnitude within my plant with my operators on my unit, and the experience of the follow-on realization that, you know, there were a bunch of leading indicators that things were going south and we missed them. So through that experience, I had an interest in making sure others didn't go through that type of pain and suffering. The company came to me at some point and said, hey, we have this opening for an entry-level position in safety. I did the plus and minus, you know, leaving the chemical plant, and thought that would be a good opportunity for me to begin to have an impact in people's lives to make sure they didn't experience what I experienced. And so I started down that path about age 34 and spent the next 30 years trying to make sure people didn't go through that same experience.
So it's interesting. So I went to school, as most undergrads go, and I figured I wanted to do something in engineering, so got into the engineering school at WashU, and spent the first couple years just doing your basic math and science classes and getting those out of the way. And at the time, I was a bit disenchanted. I didn't necessarily feel like I wanted a future career behind a desk, in front of a drafting table, and not interacting with people. And so I actually at that time was thinking about transferring out of the engineering school. This was in the early 90s. At that time, my university had one of the only undergraduate environmental engineering programs at the time. Most other schools and institutions had them as graduate programs. So I spoke with the head of that department and I made the transfer there. She assured me that I would not be stuck behind a desk or working alone, and the rest is history. I enjoy the technical aspect that environmental health and safety brings to the table and using engineering principles. But on top of that, one of the key things for environmental health and safety professionals is being able to collaborate with others. Whether you are in consulting, you've got to be able to collaborate with your clients and understand their problems and help them find solutions. Or if you're working in industry, your customers now are your internal clients, whether it's your business units, whether it's the facilities group, whether it's your HR department or your legal department. So I really enjoy taking and mirroring the aspects of the technical part of environmental health and safety with the collaboration and the public policy part, working with other groups in an organization.
I was able to look through, I call it a different lens, because maybe what people think as traditionally as an indicator of safety, quite likely it was not. And I looked at my experience on the operating floor, both during routine operations and in that upset condition. And I was able to judge presentations of approaches and say, yeah, that would address the risk factors versus, no, that's one of those gimmicks. And I was able to separate in my own mind the difference between a systematic control versus a gimmick. Because the gimmicks, I used to call them program of the year. They'd come in, a year later they would be gone, and the workforce would be waiting for the next thing. So I think the greatest advantage was to be able to correlate a recommended approach to the actual work environment, because I had lived and breathed in that environment. And the same workers that we were trying to influence and change, that was me. So that probably was the greatest benefit of, if you will, taking that avenue into the safety field.
Collaboration, that's the key. I love collaborating with people, and I think the environmental health and safety department, whether you're talking in any kind of industry, any kind of company, is the department that has the widest reach. There is not a corner of a company that doesn't have some environmental health or safety aspect that could impact it. So as a result, you've got to collaborate. You've got to collaborate with multiple stakeholders. You've got to find some innovative solutions to problems. And one of the things that I find most rewarding is finding those solutions, helping my internal colleagues, my internal customers meet the requirements that are established by OSHA and EPA and the states and the local municipalities to solve their problems, as well as collaborating, again, on the other end with the regulators to helping them understand what drives our business and how they can help us be successful as well. Because at the end of the day, whether you're a regulator or you're a regulated entity, everybody's trying to achieve the same thing. Nobody wants people hurt. Nobody wants any damage to the environment. It's just a matter of bringing different voices and bringing different perspectives together. And I really, really enjoy that. I get to do that every day, and I love it.
Well, it's critically important for you to engage at the floor level, because if you never take this seriously, engage in the prevention methodologies, there's not a very good chance you're going to go home without injury. But I also appeal to them by saying, you're not in this alone, because I'm going to work with every layer in the company, because I call it connected responsibility. The guy or gal at the top, including us at the bottom, all have a role. The problem is people don't generally define those roles at the level above the operating floor. And because of that, management in those layers, they literally don't know what to do. So I tell the floor workers, it's not just you. I'm going to start working up here first, but I need you guys to hook up here, and what we're going to do is meet in the middle. And when we do, we will have an operating safe culture that results in lower number and types of incidents that we have. So once they heard that, oh, this isn't just about me, this is about my boss and his boss and her boss, they felt, okay, this is worth listening to.
EH&S technology, software technology, apps that we talk about that can be used, mobile platforms, absolutely can help us from an efficiency standpoint, getting more work done with fewer resources. And we all know that that is what everybody's being asked to do these days. But on top of that, it can also increase employee engagement. So if you want to talk about how to really improve safety, you've got to be more efficient with the time, your limited time that you have and the limited staff and resources that you have. And on top of that, besides being more efficient, how can you get more people to carry your flag and carry your message with you and help you carry the load? Employee engagement. And I believe software technology, advances in mobile platforms, those are the ways to get employees more engaged. You can turn things that can be a little more fun sometimes, just makes life easier. But that's where the bang is for the buck. If we as safety professionals can leverage technology for efficiency and for employee engagement, then I think we are going to be on a good path.